NBC Sports presents Kellogg Beach Stadium, the 1980 Buddy Bowl. From Gate H is the people going in expecting one of the greatest football games of the century.
Plug on the Buddy Bowl. Plug on the Buddy Bowl.
Take the Buddy Bowl program here.
I'll take one.
Sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Ready, sir.
Thank you.
Ron Miller, president of the Miller's Invitational Beach Football Championship, is introducing all us film viewers to the 1980 Buddy Bowl. The stadium is empty now, but it'll be filled with thousands of screaming fans in just a few minutes as the Buddy Bowl cameramen are ready on the sideline. People are getting ready on the sideline, warming up before this big first game of 1980. Everybody talking, joking. It's time for the Buddy Bowl as the quarterbacks are warming up on the field. And now we have the coin flip. First game of the day between Dunn's Destroyers and Bradley's Bruisers as the tide is way up against the fence. It's going to be an interesting game this morning. Dunn's Destroyers go to the side of the field, and it's the kickoff. Kickoff by Jeff Eby goes to Jim Bradley, and he goes in the water and then brought down by Paul Levitt, and a good tackle. First play of the day, Jim Bradley is back to pass. Throws the ball, but it's incomplete. That drive didn't work too well, so now Dunn's Destroyers will get a chance for the ball as Paul Levitt goes over center. David Dunn back to pass. First pass is thrown incomplete. They're having problems moving the ball too. It's a fourth down play now, but he throws it complete to Irvin Cobbs over the first down line in the middle of the field. David Dunn now looking long. Needs that one touchdown to win the game, but this one falls incomplete. Trying to diagram a play in the mud. It's going to be tough to make that pass work, though. It's a very, very tough field to play in this morning in 1980 for the Buddy Bowl. David Dunn being pressured, tries to throw it. Ball's intercepted. Al Hummel, John Bennett. Jim Bradley back to pass, but he is rushed. But he dumps it off, complete to Walsh. Gets a few yards before he's pushed out of bounds. Jim Bradley throwing a side pass to Walsh. He throws it, but it's two forward passes. Penalties rule it incomplete. John Bennett called that penalty, two forward passes. Jay Hybert, the other ref, trying to help out. Brian Reglott has now replaced Jim Bradley. Gets through the rush, throws it complete to Bradley for a 16-yard gain. Tackle there by Paul Levitt. Reglott now being pressured by Eby, throws it long, but it's intercepted by Irvin Cobbs. Tackle there by Jay Plagg on the defense. David Dunn now back to pass, trying to move that ball. He's trying again for the long pass, but the ball falls incomplete. David Dunn trying to find an open receiver. Complete to Tripp for about 3 yards. Jack Tripp there would leave after the first game. Only completion in Buddy Bowl history. Penalty in the offense, but it was declined, so that completion will stand. David Dunn now abandoning the pass, goes for a run, gets good yardage, about 16 yards on that play. Tackled by Scott Hill and Jim Walsh. Dunn going back to the pass now. Throws it long again. Almost intercepted by Walsh. Ball falls incomplete. Nick Podius on the sideline there. It's a draw play to Irvin Cobbs. Gets a couple good blocks, but Brian Reglott won't be faked out. And that's the end of the first half as Mark Solano gives us the halftime festivities. Now we have the second half of this scoreless tie between Dunn's Destroyers and Bradley's Bruisers as Irvin Cobbs takes the kickoff. Tackle by Scott Hill again. But that drive didn't work, and Augie Polendo punched the ball to Dave Truby. Goes to the right, but then cuts across the grain. One man to beat Jack Tripp, but he gets him down the sideline. Good punt return by Dave Truby. Ryan Regalat trying to break the scoreless tie. Throws it, but overthrows his receiver. Ball falls incomplete. Dave Dauphine on the sideline again. Dunn throws a long pass. It's complete for about 20 yards. Looking again for a receiver. Gets away from the rush, but throws the ball incomplete in the water. That drive also stalled. Now Regalat is back to pass again. Dumps it off to Jim Walsh. Gets past Philando there and is brought down on a good tackle. Tackle by Jack Tripp there. Ryan Regalat takes another run. And soon after that play, Jim Radley ran 45 yards on a great play for the first touchdown. Unfortunately, the Buddy Ball filmers missed the play. Score now is 6-0 as they line up for the extra point. A great play to Jim Bradley, nets minus 8 yards. Tackle there by Tripp and Philando. Jim Walsh added to the scoring with a fine 16-yard run. Score now is 12-0. Extra point there fell incomplete as time is running out on Dunn's Destroyers. Irvin Cos takes the kickoff, tries to lateral it, but the ball falls in the water as time runs out. Bradley's Bruisers win a tough game in the mud and the water, 12-0 over Dunn's Destroyers in the first game of the 1980 Buddy Bowl. Referee John Bennett and Jay Harbert called a good game in this tough contest. Andy DeMeyer gets his team ready for the second game of the 1980 Buddy Bowl. We're almost ready now for the second game of the 1980 Buddy Bowl between DeMeyer's team and Ted Griswold's team. Complete to Mark Vanoni on that short pass for a few yards. DeMeyer back to pass again. Throws it to Fontaine, but a good tackle in the water. Mark Williams there with a tackle right near the Buddy Bowl cameraman. Penalty here on the play, but the rusher didn't hear the whistle blow and sacks him anyway. DeMeyer back to pass again. He's being pressured. He's going to throw it long. He's looking for Vanoni there, but the ball falls incomplete. It's turned over now. Mark Williams has the ball. He laterals it. Mark Solano ends up with it. He throws it short to Kevin, one of the few unidentified Buddy Bowlers, for a good gain there, tackled by Mark Vanoni. Bob Nicoletti now hands it off to Bob Leolby on the left side of the line. Gets a couple good blocks, but it's good defense there, and he only gets a few yards. Nicoletti now taking the ball, tries to run behind the line, but only gets 1 yard. Tackle there by Dave Ring, Kevin Campbell, and Fontaine. DeMeyer's team gets the ball back, and the ball is fumbled out of the end zone. The score is now 2-0. Safety there. Bob Leolby takes the kickoff now. Tackled by Jay Harvey and Dave Ring. Solano now back to pass, but throws it incomplete. Solano there trying to evade the rush, but he is sacked by Kevin Campbell in the water. It's a 3-yard loss. Nicoletti takes the rolling hike. Gets away from Campbell on the rush, gets away from Ring, and dumps it off to Leolby, and it's a good run. Breaks one tackle there, brought down again by Jay Harvey. Nicoletti now looking for another receiver, but Kevin Campbell is there again for another sack. Myers' team now gets the ball. Throws it past the outstretched arms of Mark Williams, complete for a good gain to Fontaine. Tackle there by Tom Rutherford. DeMeyer goes another pass, complete to Jay Harvey for about 11 yards. Tackled by Ted Griswold and Mark Williams. DeMeyer getting away from Leolby on the rush. Throws the ball incomplete. DeMeyer again evading the rush. He's near the line of scrimmage, but he throws it anyway. And it's a great catch by Danny Fontaine in the water. DeMeyer again trying to evade the rush. Gets away from Leovi. He throws it long, but nobody can reach it in the water. Incomplete. Griswold's team gets the ball again. Good 8-yard run by Ted Griswold. Tackled by Fontaine and Jay Harvey. Nicoletti back to pass again. Throws a wounded duck pass, overthrowing the receiver. That's the end of the first half with the score 2-0 in favor of Griswold's team, as Tom Rutherford takes the kickoff for absolutely no yardage at all. Nicoletti is back to pass. He's throwing it long, but it again falls incomplete. Nicoletti now trying the short pass. Tips it right to Kevin for about a 3-yard gain. Nicoletti hands it off to Mark Williams, but he has nowhere to go. Fontaine and Campbell make the tackle. Jeff Stress there on the sideline, waiting for his team to play in the next game. Nicoletti now throw it. Tipped right to Solano. Good catch, and he gets in the water. Tackled there by Andy DeMeyer. Personal foul on Jay Harvey on that play for another 5 yards. Now he gives the ball to Leovi and makes a good run. After that good run by Leovi, Nicoletti overthrows his receiver in the end zone. Now, a pivotal play of the game. Nicoletti is back to pass, throws it across the field, it's tipped right to Jay Harvey. Unfortunately, Jay Harvey is the defender on the play, and he romps for an easy score, a 75-yard touchdown return. It's 6-2 now in favor of DeMeyer's team. Extra point attempt. Andy DeMeyer sees Benoni, but the ball falls incomplete. Behind by 4 points, they have them on a good drive. Ted Griswold takes the kick. Follows Leovi, and it makes a good run here. Nailed by Fontaine right in the water. Good tackle. Solano back to pass. Sees Leovi for a good gain of about 12, 11 yards. Tackle there by Kevin Campbell and a couple others. Solano now throws it to Nicoletti. Tackle again by the defensive stalwart Jay Harvey. Andy DeMeyer and Dave Ring, number 74. Solano now looking long, behind by 4 points. They've got to get that touchdown, but the ball falls incomplete. Solano now throws it. It's tipped to Leovi, but Fontaine is there to make the tackle, along with Ring and Campbell and Benoni. Negative 5 yards on that play, as the ball is turned over to DeMeyer's team. First pass by DeMeyer is incomplete. Second play is a 9-yard run for Andy DeMeyer down the water. Tackle by Griswold. Disaster hits DeMeyer's team on this play. He throws it straight to Ted Griswold for an interception. Tackle by Harvey and Benoni on that. Ted Griswold's team has another chance. Ted Griswold there celebrating his interception. Not many penalties in this game. John Bennett's calling a good game here in 1980. Out of the Buddy Ball action for the first time because of an injured knee as Leovi takes the ball down the left side of the line. Tackle there by DeMeyer. Dave Dauphine also getting ready for the next game. Griswold takes the ball from Nicoletti and goes about 5 yards. Fakes out Fontaine on the play. Nicoletti throws it. It's tipped, almost caught by Solano, but incomplete. Ted Griswold takes the ball on the right side. A couple of good blocks. Goes for about 12 yards. Tackled by Jay Harvey and Andy DeMeyer in the water. Bob Nicoletti takes the ball, but it's a fumble. Jay Harvey steals it away from him and gets about 2 yards in the fumble recovery. Good defensive play by Jay Harvey, who has been in on numerous tackles on this game. Meyer takes the ball around the left sideline, goes in the water. Tackle by Kevin there. Mark Benoni now takes the ball. Gets little yardage though. Good tackle there by Mark Williams in the water. Benoni gets the ball again. Good block by DeMeyer there, but a good tackle by Mark Williams. Trying to establish the running game, but this play gains little yardage. 0 yards. Good tackle by Leovi in the water once again. Nicoletti now getting that crummy hike. He throws long. It's complete to Kevin for a good gain. Little time left in this rough game. Nicoletti takes the ball around the right sideline, but there's nowhere to go. Tackled by Harvey. Time is running out. Fumble on this play, and Jay Harvey, the defensive star of this game, makes the recovery as time runs out. Tate Griswold's team loses a tough game, 6-2. Ron Miller's team now comes out for the third game of the 1980 Buddy Bowl. Andy Meyer celebrating his team's recent win as we saw the Buddy Bowl draft board. First two games have been tough defensive struggles. Now we bring you the third game of the 1980 Buddy Bowl as Dan Powell takes the kickoff. Tackle there by Al Hummel. B.J. Clark back to pass. It goes for about 12 yards on a good gain. Tackled by Steve Gustafson and Jeff Stress there. B.J. now takes the ball again. He's looking for a receiver, being pressured by Al Hummel, and he fumbles it. Recovered by Mapes. Tackle there by Charlie Haw. Miller's Killers still have the ball. B.J. Clark looks, short pass to Paul Tart, but it falls incomplete. B.J. now takes the ball into the water, right near the cameraman. Tackled by Stress after an 11-yard gain. Dave Dauphine there on defense. B.J. throws another short pass. Ball falls incomplete. B.J. now back to pass. But he's being pressured and he is sacked. Hummel with a tackle there. B.J. Clark still is finding nowhere to go. He's being pressured by Charlie Haw. Nobody is open. Everyone's covered and Haw sacks him into the ground. B.J. now throwing long, but he's intercepted by Billy Bennett. Billy Bennett, younger brother of John Bennett, in his first Buddy Bowl. Brought down in the water. Tackled by Paul Tart as Dave Dauphine diagrams the play. David Ryan hiking the ball and throws it complete to Billy Bennett. Good tackle there by Ron Miller. Jeff Stress now gets the ball. Tackle there by Dan Powell. And Miller throws an elbow on him, and the referee catches it. It's a penalty on the play. Personal foul on Ron Miller as they get 15 yards. Dauphine now back to pass. Throws it short, complete to Gustafson. Tackle there by Nick Photius. Dave Dauphine now looking for the home run ball, but throws it incomplete. Almost intercepted by Paul Tart, but the ball falls harmlessly to the ground. After that fake to Jeff Stress, Dauphine is back to pass. Good blocking by Stress on this play. That was a good catch by Steve Gustafson for 21 yards. Tackle there by Nick Photius. Dauphine back to pass again, but good defensive play by B.J. Clark. Incomplete, and now Ron Miller's team has the ball. B.J. throws it complete to Ron Miller. Tackled by Dave Dauphine and Steve Gustafson for a 16-yard gain. B.J. Clark now throwing it. Paul Tart almost had it, but the ball falls incomplete. Now a short toss to Nick Photius. He's pushed out of bounds. Tackle there by Billy Bennett. Now here's one of the funniest plays in Buddy Bowl history. B.J. Clark is under pressure. Charlie Haw and Al Hummel had him, but Ryan won't let him go, and he's thrown into the water with his shirt torn off. Tries to throw the ball, but it's ruled incomplete. Intentional grounding. Referee John Bennett calls it. Dauphine now has the ball. Throws it complete to Jeff Stress, but he is brought down by Paul Tart. Dave Dauphine now escaping the rush for a good gain. Tackle there by Paul Tart and Bud Mapes. Now one of the more interesting plays in Buddy Bowl history is Dave Dauphine throws it left-handed to Charlie Haw. Ron Miller has Charlie Haw, but he laterals it back to Dave Dauphine. Good block there, jumps over B.J. Clark for a touchdown. The score is now 6-0 in favor of Billy Bennett's team. Extra point, Dave Dauphine throws it incomplete into the water. Kickoff by Bennett's team. It's returned about 6 yards. Tackle there by Dan Powell. That was the half. And now Dauphine's team has the ball again. Complete to Charlie Haw for about 6 yards. Tackle there by Ron Miller. Dauphine now has good time. He throws it long, but the ball goes incomplete. Almost intercepted again. Jeff Stress now has the ball. Goes for a few yards, and he'll lateral it. Laterals it to Dauphine. Tries to jump over the defender, but goes nowhere. Brought down by Paul Tart again. Fourth down now. Dave Dauphine evades Bud Mapes. Telling Stress to go long, but he throws it longer than Stress is. Ball falls incomplete. now another weird play. B.J. Clark throws it in the flat, but it's intercepted by Jeff Stress. For some reason, he cuts right in the middle of the field. Tackled there by Dan Powell and Paul Tart. Hummel at about 6-yard run before he's tackled there by Miller, Tart, and B.J. Clark. Stress, after that negative 1-yard run, tackled by Bud Mapes and Paul Tart. Now, it's a pass, but it's tipped on the line of scrimmage by Paul Tart. Falls incomplete. Now here's a lateral. Dauphine to Stress. Stress runs around. Back to Dauphine. Evading Dan Powell. Laterals it back to Stress. Stress sees Haw open, but Haw steps on the end line before he catches the ball. The ball is ruled incomplete. A break for Miller's team. And now Miller's team will have a new quarterback, Ron Miller. He's tired of these shenanigans in this game. Leaving behind 6-0. He's got to catch up. Diagramming the play in the huddle. Miller sees an opening. He's going to run it down the right sideline. 35-yard run, tackled by Steve Gustafson. Miller's team has the first drive of the day. Ron Miller now throwing it. Bud Mapes drops it. Miller again evading the rush. Goes for a short game this time. Tackled again by Steve Gustafson. Miller again diagramming this play. Miller evading Dave Dauphine. Evading another rusher. He's going to throw it. It's complete to Nick Photius. Good move. Fakes out Stress right there. Good move by Nick Photius. Gets past Paul Tart. Throws it complete to Bud Mapes. On the lateral. It's a touchdown though. The score is tied now 6-6. Man in motion. Miller runs it to the right side. 2-yard run is good for the extra point. The score is now 7-6 in favor of Miller's Killers. Now Miller wants to kick it off. This will lead to some of the funniest events in Buddy Bowl history. Miller kicks it first to the left into the houses. Penalty on the play, so Miller will kick it again. Right into the water. Buddy Bowl rules say the ball is in play in the water, and so Charlie Haw waddles through the water for a good game before he's tackled by Dan Powell. Miller tries to argue the play, but it will stand. One of the more remarkable kickoff returns in Buddy Bowl history. Dave Dauphine now, behind for the first time in this game, tries to run around left end. Tackled by Ron Miller. Dauphine now switch to a passing attempt. Fakes out Bud Mapes, but the ball falls incomplete. Dauphine now jumps in the air, but has nothing on the ball, and it's easily intercepted by Paul Tart. Good defensive play. Now the triple I formation. Given to B.J. Clark, but that formation went nowhere, and he's brought down for a 2-yard loss. He had nowhere to go. Tackled by Gustafson there. Good defensive game by Steve Gustafson. Ron Miller now runs it toward the middle of the field, fakes out Stress, but Billy Bennett's there to pop the ball out of Miller's hands. It's a fumble. Al Hummel recovers it. Bennett's team has another chance. Billy Bennett's buddies as Dave Dauphine runs around the left end, but he can't fake out Miller, and Miller brings him down in the water. Tries to dump it off to Al Hummel. He luckily recovers it, but gets little yardage. Defensive penalty on this play as Ron Miller makes the interception. One more try, but B.J. Clark is there to make the easy interception and romps down the sideline as time runs out. Miller's Killers have a great comeback victory, 14-6 in this game. Paramedics working on the field in this tough 1980 action. And now we bring you to the championship game, 1980, between Dunn's Destroyers, who had come back from their first loss. They have 2 great shutout victories, amassing a total of 44 points. Although Andy DeMeyer disagreed and thought his team should have been in the championship game. So the score is now 0-0 as Irvin Cobbs directs the offense for Dunn's Destroyers versus Miller's Killers. It's a tough defensive struggle in this 0-0 game. Dan Powell takes the ball, but he's tackled there by John Benedict and Irvin Cobbs. Ron Miller gets the short pass. It's complete to Photius. Tackled there by Augie Philando. Another one of those veterans who is there every year. Ron Miller fakes it to the right, runs to the left. Pushed out of bounds roughly by Irvin Cobbs. This game is getting tough. Ron Miller now has good protection now, but really no one's open. But he completes it to Nick Photius. Nick Photius won't go anywhere though, and he's thrown to the ground by Irvin Cobbs. Miller's Killers undefeated so far today. Trying to diagram another play. Can they get past the tough Destroyer defense that has been on its game for the past 2 outings? Miller there has no room to throw. Sacked by Benedict and Cobbs. Short pass though, complete to Mark Albrecht past Augie Philando for a good gain. BJ Clark now has the ball, throws it complete to Miller and gets good yards before he's tackled by Machinsky there and Irvin Cobbs. Now the most pivotal play in 1980 Buddy Bowl history. It's a 4th down and Ron Miller has the time to throw it. He sees Mark Albrecht open. It's a good move on the defender, Paul Levitt, and there's no one else there, and he goes for the touchdown. The score is now 6-0. Good run by Mark Albrecht there as the extra point falls incomplete. Irvin Cobbs takes the kickoff now. Goes for some good yardage. It's tough to bring him down. Good tackle there by Paul Tart. But that drive didn't work, and Miller's team has the ball again. Miller runs to his right. He's throwing long when the ball is incomplete. Another throw goes incomplete as the Dunn Destroyers playing tough defense with the exception of that one play minutes ago. Second half open with Miller's team getting the ball again. BJ Clark returns it, losing his shirt in the process. Benedict there with the tackle. As Miller's team lines up to the play. Good ball control for Miller's team this game. Keeping this drive alive, Miller throws it complete for a 6-yard gain to B.J. Clark. Tackle there by Steve Machinsky. Miller being pressured but throws it complete to Albrecht for another short gain. Tackle there by Paul Levitt. 4th down now, Miller throws it complete to Albrecht, who laterals it to Nick Photius. Good play there for short yardage. Tackle there by David Dunn and Irvin Cobbs. Destroyers now have the ball. Irvin Cobbs makes a fine run down the right sideline for a good gain. Tackle there by Nick Photius. Irvin Cobbs gets the ball again, but there's no hole this time. Tackle there by Dan Powell and Mark Albrecht. Cobbs tries the run again, but really has nowhere to go. Tackle there by Ron Miller and Bud Mapes. Dunn now back to pass. The whole team has all the time in the world to throw. Benedict is open for a good gain. Behind by 6, they've got to get to the tying touchdown. Irvin Cobbs now gets the ball. But again, there's really no hole. Tackle there by Ron Miller and Dan Powell. That drive fizzles out again as the Miller Killer defense is doing very well. Complete now to Mark Albrecht. Hit hard by Levitt, but he laterals it to Dan Powell for another good gain. Tackle there by Augie Philando. Good tackle. B.J. Clark now, replacing Ron Miller as quarterback, throws it incomplete. Nobody's open, so he's going to try and run it. Irvin Cobbs and Machinsky are there for a good tackle. Ron Miller open on the sideline with a good grab there for 16 yards. Time is running out. What ball control by Miller's Killers. Irvin Cobbs on the rush. He throws it, almost intercepted by Machinsky. They needed that. Miller now back to pass again, has some time to throw it, throws it complete to Albrecht for 10 yards. Mark Albrecht, what a fine receiver for Miller's team this game. Miller throws another pass, falls incomplete as time is running out on Dunn's Destroyers. John Benedict dropped that pass to David Dunn. Few seconds left in this game as Dunn runs around right in. Pass falls incomplete as time runs out. Miller's Killers are the 1980 Buddy Bowl champions. Dunn's Destroyers are the chump champs. Jim Bradley says, well, we'll have to wait till next year. Fortunately for Bradley, you'll have to wait 3 more years to play in the Buddy Bowl. Injuries would force him out of action. Miller's Killers now pose for a team photo near the end of the field. And there they are. Fortunately, it's out of focus, our filmer, but we can tell you who they are. We got B.J. Clark, Bud Mapes, Paul Tart, and Dan Powell in the back row there. Mark Albrecht, fine receivers, 6 catches for 72 yards. Nick Photius and Ron Miller, the 1980 Buddy Bowl champions. Dan Powell proudly presents his trophy to Buddy Bowl cameraman. And David Ryan finds the missing lens cap. Right there.